Your financial future, whether stay broke or become wealthy, actually comes down to one thing: how you deal with fear and greed. Hey, I'm Yu. Today, let's break down Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This book has a really interesting setup. The author had two dads. One is his real father, a highly educated government official. We will call him the poor dad. The other is his best friend's father, who didn't even finish high school, but was great at making money. We will call him the rich dad. The poor dad believes that if you study hard, you will get a good job and earn a stable income. But in the end, he still faced financial struggles. The rich dad, on the other hand, focused on making money work for him. He kept building assets, growing wealth, and even if he lost everything, he could always bounce back. Two dads, two completely different ways of thinking. So the question is, which one do you think alike? Difference is one. Don't just be a good student. School teaches you how to work for money, but never teaches you how to make money work for you. The poor dad says, I'm proud of my job. He studies hard, gets a high-paying job, and treats his job like his whole career. But the moment he stops working, the income stops. The rich dad says, my business is my assets. He encourages you to get your job but build assets on the side. Assets that generate cash flow even when you're not working. The poor dad was a professor, highly educated, decent income. But he spent his whole life working for the government and banks. He gets paid, pays taxes, pay off debt, and keep what's left. The harder he works, the more tax he pays. The rich dad didn't even finish school, but he owns businesses, real estate, and investments. His income flows through his companies first, reduces expense legally, then pays taxes. Same $100. The poor dad earns $100, pays 13 taxes, spends the remaining 70. The rich dad earns $100, use 60 to buy assets or run businesses, then pays taxes on the remaining 40. These are two completely different games. Poor people work inside the system. Rich people design the system. And school will never teach you the second game, because school itself is part of the first. Difference is two. Most people stay poor because they are too afraid of losing money. The poor dad is controlled by fear and greed. He's afraid of not paying the bills, so he works harder. Then he gets paid, feels greedy, buys more stuff, and gets stuck in a cycle. Work, pay bills, work again. The rich dad learns to control emotions. He replaces emotion with logic. He doesn't let fear and greed make decisions. The poor dad avoids investing because he's afraid of losing money and ends up buying liabilities just because they seem cheap. The rich dad turns fear into learning and turns greed into patience. When facing something expensive, the poor dad says, I can't afford it. That shuts down thinking completely. But the rich dad asks, how can I afford it? That one question forces your brain to think. It pushes you to learn, to grow, to manage risk instead of avoiding it. Difference is three. What you think is an asset might be a liability. The poor dad buys liabilities. The rich dad buys assets. Your house, your luxury car, they are not assets. Real assets are things like rent, dividends, cash flow, intellectual property, etc. Here's a simple rule. Assets put money into your pocket. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. Let's say you buy a house to live in. Every month you pay mortgage and maintenance fees. Money keeps flowing out. So, is it an asset or liability? Unfortunately, until it generates income, it's a liability. It's not that buying a house is wrong, but most people treat liability as assets and spend their entire life paying for them, thinking they are building wealth. A real asset is like a goose that lays golden eggs, not an elephant you have to feed every single day. Difference is 4. Don't rely on just one skill. Most people ignore financial intelligence. The poor dad believes money isn't that important or that working hard is enough. The rich dad believes financial education is everything. He emphasizes learning accounting, investing, marketing, and law. Because without financial intelligence, you won't even see the opportunities in front of you. The difference between the poor dad and the rich dad isn't who's smarter. It's not who works harder. It's not even where they started. It's their framework for understanding money. One runs endlessly inside the system. The other builds a system of its own. Alright, that's it for today's breakdown of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Let me know in the comments which mindset you relate to more. In the next episode of Unstoppable Evolution series, we will be reading The Diamond Cutter. See you next time!